Previously, I showed the red wire in the loom that had melted areas, and as I work on more of the wiring harness, this is an area that was behind the dash I pulled forward in order to get a good look at it. Let's see. You can see this is that same red wire, how it just melted. There's the actual copper of it, and the red, it just actually melted completely out of it. So I've been pulling off the sheathing to get back in here and see what else is damaged, and I have to open up the sheathing further back in and see how much more damage that is. I pulled all the wiring harness into the right wheel well from inside in order to get a better look at it, and it's easier to access getting it all over here in one place, and gotta keep track of things. Interesting thing is, this was a connection on the flasher unit. So let's see, I get my fingers. This was on the flasher. It's red to green to red to green, black. So it just changes so much. Oh, so many repairs. That's a lot of what I'm doing right now, is just trying to put things back to where they're a lot less of the repairs. Things are not hodgepodge, but in better shape. Continuing on with the flasher. The original power feed for the flasher, according to the line drawing for the electrics, was supposed to come off of the hot side of the voltage stabilizer, which that little green wire right there, I believe, is what it was. I think that's what it was. For whatever reason, it was cut off of that, and then we had this wire with an inline fuse that came off the fuse block, and it ran all the way over into one of these extra holes here as a separate wire. But why? What was wrong with the line coming off of that they had to run a separate, they actually cut that there and run a separate one? Well, what I will do is take that feed wire, put it in the loom, since the loom is apart, to fix the really fried red wire. I'll add that in the loom. It might be a little difficult to get this, take it apart, cut it, and put another one on. There's already a line coming off the fuse box, so I'm going to just put that back in. I might clean up the wiring because it's been, let's see, it goes from green to fuse to green to blue. So, don't know. But at least it's heat shrinked and looks like it's connected well. I'll evaluate if I really have to change it or just label it really well. Continuing with electrics. Another mystery solved under the dash. I did have two wires that weren't connected to anything. This white with brown tracer and the green tracing them back through to the front. They are for the oil pressure switch. So there is a sending unit up front, but there is no gauge for it. The actual oil pressure gauge I have is with a hard line running to the engine. So I don't know if this was supposed to be, let's say, for a warning light or an actual gauge. I would suspect maybe a warning light, but there was no light anywhere to connect it to. So it's on the engine, it's in the wiring harness, but it's not on the dash. So that solves that mystery. There's still the two wires to determine what they connect to here on the ignition switch. It's easy to trace what the two do up front, but is to figure out what the pins do on the back of the switch, since there are numbers, but I got to come up with a wiring diagram for the switch so I know what connects to it. then I can move forward on getting that connected back. One of the next ideas I'm floating in my mind, now this is not 100% yet, I'm just kind of making some ideas together. A mold has to be made of this side in order to fix the other side. So I've never made a mold before, but I've seen a lot of pattern molds made on different shows and photos. So can I make a pattern mold of this side and reverse it to go use it on the other side? So if I took thin plywood and made the general shape, and then made small pieces down and glued them in position in order to make the mold. If I did that every inch and progress down, is that a good enough mold? Because this, you make this piece, and then all you got to do is do that with it on the other side, and you make all them, and you can make a mold for the other side. At least that's what I think will work. Never done this before. Just some strange and wild ideas that I'm coming up with to facilitate getting the other side fixed. It's going to need a mold of some kind to get the shape right. And do I make it? Do I have a shop? I don't know of a shop yet. Still work on the body. I'm working on that to find somebody who has the skill to do it. If I had the mold, and the mold was fairly accurate, we're dealing with the shops that have. I don't have to worry about them making it. I have the skill to make it. So that's one of my wild ideas to move along with this.